isn't just doing bad things to good people, he's also doing good things to bad people. It's been a week since he pardoned everyone who had a normal tourist visit to the Capitol on January 6th. And I'm sure they're making the most of their second chance, right?
A man pardoned by President Trump for his role in the January 6th riot was shot and killed by an Indiana deputy during a traffic stop.
Okay, well, except for that guy. Yeah, I mean, that guy really wasted a presidential pardon. Look, if I ever get a presidential pardon, I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to get shot to death. So what exactly happened there?
Police say the deputy tried to arrest Matthew Huddle on Sunday, but he resisted and the deputy shot him. Investigators say Huddle had a gun.
A routine traffic stop ending in the police shooting a man they claimed had a gun. Ordinarily, this is the kind of thing liberals would cry police brutality. But if it's a January 6er, I have a feeling they're going to be like, oh, look, we need to back the blue on this one. Liberals are getting so much whiplash trying to decide if this cop is bad or good. Rachel Maddow is going to be in a neck brace. But aside from the ones who are dead, all the rest of the January 6 rioters who Trump released from prison must be so happy right now.
Houston authorities are trying to find a man pardoned by Donald Trump for his role in the January 6th riots. Andrew Tate is wanted for a 2016 charge of a solicitation of a minor.
Okay, well, not that guy also. But stop. But look, any group as large as the January 6th crowd is going to have one sex creep in it. There's probably one in our audience right now. Raise your hand if you're a sex creep. That guy in the plaid shirt, that woman. Sir, come on. The point is, all the rest of the partners they're fine. They're doing fine.
A Mint Hill man who pleaded guilty to his involvement in January 6th is possibly facing other charges. Court documents show David Daniel is facing child pornography charges.
Wait, what? I'm starting to worry that the people who broke into the Capitol and took a shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk are not upstanding citizens. You know what? Forget about those two pedophiles.
Andrew Kyle Grigsby of Louisville, who was pardoned for spraying Capitol Police with bear spray, is currently incarcerated in a Kentucky prison for 2 counts of child pornography.
Jesus Christ! At this point, it might have been better for them just to stay in prison, At least then they were heroes. Now they're all going to individual prisons for child pornography. So do you guys have a choir? A lot of thoughts have been occupying Trump's mind lately. Invading Greenland, boobs. Taking over the Panama Canal, boobs. Selling Teslas, and of course, putting tariffs on boobs. It's a beautiful, horny mental tapestry. But recently, one mysterious word has been stuck in Trump's brain.
I went on the border, and I went on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. Like almost, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries.
Yeah, groceries. I mean, who uses that word except everybody all the time? Donald Trump found the word fascinating. And this was not just a fleeting thought. His brain has been contemplating the word groceries for a while now.
More people tell me about groceries. The word grocery, I've heard it more in the last year than any other word, I think. Everyone tells me about the word groceries.
You hear the word groceries, you say, really? But I get more complaints about groceries.
Beautiful but simple word, groceries. Sir, my groceries.
Please, sir, my groceries. What? Now, based on that, you might think that Trump has never heard the word groceries until the 2024 campaign and just thought this must be a new slang word, He was probably like, Barron, what's groceries? Is that like Riz? But if you tunnel deeper into Trump's brain, you find out that he's heard the word before, just not in a long time.
The cost of groceries, a word that I used a lot on the campaign. It's like an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word, very descriptive word. They say my groceries are so much more. I have it, the term is just like an old term, and it's a beautiful. Groceries, a term I used to use. It's sort of an old-fashioned term, but I used to use it.
Whoa, okay. This raises more questions because groceries is not an old-fashioned word. It's a word we use right now to describe groceries. There's actually no other word for it. So now I'm wondering, does Donald Trump know what groceries are?
Groceries. It sort of says a bag with different things in it.
Yeah. We're on the right track. Not all bags with things in them are groceries. Can you ask your brain to narrow it down a little bit?
The word grocery, it's sort of simple word, but it sort of means like everything you eat.
Everything you eat. So simple, so almost correct. It says everything, yet absolutely nothing. Let's keep digging.
Such a basic term, groceries. The groceries, they mean every single item of grocery.
Every single item of grocery. I have to say, I never thought of it like that. I thought groceries were merely some items of grocery, but every item of grocery? Yesterday, Donald Trump announced sweeping tariffs across the entire globe. Asia, South America, Narnia, Arendelle, Wakanda, Bachelor Nation. If you can imagine it, Trump slapped a tariff on it. And today, the reviews came in.
Carnage on Wall Street.
Markets falling, tumbling.
Stocks plunging.
Down, down, down. The Nasdaq's getting crushed. Small caps are getting crushed.
This is a shock to the system.
It is ugly out there. Worse than worst case scenario.
Stocks are getting slashed and burned. $2.5 trillion vaporized.
$2.5 trillion vaporized. Your kid's college fund disintegrated. Your 401k given the death penalty. Your pension waterboarded in Guantanamo. Those stocks your Nana gave you 20 years ago accidentally stepped on a landmine while vacationing in Vietnam. Economists say we could be on the verge of a recession, so things are looking scary right now. But don't worry. The only thing the president is better at than negotiating is speaking soothing words of comfort in times of need.
We have heard from President Trump. He took to Truth Social, wrote this: "The operation is over. The patient lived and is healing. The prognosis is that the patient will be far stronger, bigger, better, and more resilient than ever before."
Boy, I feel so much better now. Always reassuring when the surgeon comes out screaming at the top of his lungs, "The patient is fine! Everything is going great! Does anybody have a mop?" The thing is, the patient didn't need major surgery. We just needed a teeth cleaning. Keep it clean and shiny. No one wants to wake up from heart surgery to their dental hygienist shouting, "I think he's gonna live!" Also, the patient is gonna be bigger? Was the surgery a penis enhancement? If so, what kind? Was it latex injections, scrotoplasty, ligament extension, ventral phalloplasty, a fat transfer to enhance girth? I think those are the options. I don't know. Now, look, you could argue that it's bad that my retired 78-year-old mom is polishing up her resume now, but to Donald Trump, it's all worth it because we're correcting a grave injustice.
President Trump says the higher penalties come in response to tariffs those countries impose on American products they import.
Reciprocal. That means they do it to us and we do it to them. Very simple.
Yeah, it's very simple in that it is simply not true. All right, the reality is that the numbers on his board are not the tariffs other countries are charging us. They actually represent the trade deficit between the U.S. and those countries, meaning we buy more stuff from them than they buy from us. I'm just going to repeat this. Those numbers don't represent the tariffs. They represent that we buy more stuff from them than they buy from us. That means we're basically punishing other countries for selling us stuff that we want. This is like me going to John Varvatos and beating the shit out of him because I like his socks. Why don't you ever buy my socks, John Varvatos? I don't make any socks, but that's no excuse. But that's really what's going on. It's not actually about tariffs. It's about other countries not buying enough of our stuff. Although Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary and cologne sponge, had another way to put it.
I mean, the European Union won't take chicken from America. They won't take lobsters from America. They hate our beef because our beef is beautiful and theirs is weak. It's unbelievable. We can't sell corn to India. We can't sell rice to Asia.
Yeah, although I'm not sure tariffs are the reason we can't sell rice to Asia. I think they figured rice out about 10,000 years ago. Now, if they want to add aroni, well, then let us know. We got that figured out. Amazingly, Trump hasn't been firing administration officials all that much because partly, most of them have really learned a lesson about staying on his good side. Let me show you how bad it can get. 3 days ago, Pam Bondi was on Fox News making an outrageous claim about Trump's success stopping fentanyl deaths.
Since Donald Trump has been in office, DEA has seized over 21 million fentanyl pills. That's 21 million lives saved, in my opinion.
21 million people. 21 million people. Just for context, 70,000 people die from fentanyl in an entire year. But we're supposed to believe that in 3 months, Trump prevented 21 million fentanyl deaths. I guess a lot more people were planning to try fentanyl this year, huh? Were you guys? Because if everyone's doing it, I'll do it. I'm not a pussy. All right. This audience is pro-fentanyl. Now, to be fair to Bondi, she must have realized these numbers were way off because 2 days later, she corrected herself.
Since he's been in office, DEA has taken 22.2 million fentanyl pills off the streets. This is 119 million lives Donald Trump has saved since January. Pretty remarkable.
Oh, my God. 119 million? He saved 100 more million lives in 2 days? Wow. Keep in mind, the entire population of the United States is 340 million. So she's crediting Trump with saving the lives of a third of the entire country. Pam, what are you talking about? Are you on the fence? Because you sound high as right now, okay? All right. But you know what? Bondi sobered up, she checked her math, and she realized something was off again. Because during Trump's cabinet meeting yesterday, she came back and corrected herself one more time.
President Trump, your DOJ agencies have seized more than 22 million fentanyl pills, which saved, are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives.
258! 258 million lives? What is happening here? At the rate Trump is saving lives, death will cease to exist by August. Man, you gotta love the way she turns to the camera like, are you ready for this, media? No, we weren't ready for that. We were not ready. There is no way anybody could ever have been ready for the number you were about to say. Even J.D. Vance wasn't ready. Look at his face when he hears her say that shit.
Are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives. Kids are dying every day.
I've never seen a man blink. What the is this woman talking about? But of course he knows it's bullshit. He went to Yale, right? It's no Harlem University, but they know math. The point is, by the time we're done with the next 100 days, Trump will have saved, and are you ready for this, media? 347 bajillion lives. Which, if you ask me, 340 bajillion lives, which you've asked me is too many lives. For a few days now, there's been a simmering tension between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, the leader of the free world and the breeder of the free world. But today, the conflict has escalated into a full-blown World War douche.
Breaking news, a very public breakup between the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, and arguably the most powerful man, President Donald Trump.
A fascinating and blistering war of words.
It is getting messier literally by the minute.
Well, it's crashing and burning right now.
The bromance is over.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. The thing that was always going to happen is now happening. And you get to be a part of it. I thought these two billionaires with the world's biggest egos would work it out amicably. All right, let's take a step back and figure out how this completely predictable thing predictably unfolded. After Elon stepped away from the White House a few days ago, he started to express some constructive criticism about Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill, that it drastically increases the deficit, which clearly undercuts all the hard, patriotic work Elon has done gutting funding for cancer research and starving children. And at first, it was just quiet complaining. But yesterday, Elon took his campaign up a notch.
Elon Musk, who just yesterday called it an abomination and doubled down on that today in a string of posts. One reads, a new spending bill should be drafted that doesn't massively grow the deficit and increase the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. In another, he writes, call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay. Kill the bill. Another simply shows a movie poster for the Quentin Tarantino movie, Kill Bill.
Right? Kill Bill. I guess Elon is a fan of Tarantino movies, although not the one where all the Nazis die at the end. That one makes him sad. Now, Trump had been uncharacteristically reserved about his good friend turning against his bill. And even today, when he was asked about it, you could tell that he was treading lightly.
I've always liked Elon, and it's always very surprised. Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised, but I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Yeah. I mean, this is just like when your mom catches you jerking off to her JC catalog. Trump's not mad, but he is disappointed. But this was an interesting response, because for every other ex-staffer who speaks out against Trump, he's like, this loser, piece of shit, lowlife dirtbag. I wish I'd fired him sooner and his wife. But when it came to Elon, he was more subdued. And I think that's because Trump could tell that deep down inside, Elon has $400 billion. But if Trump was hoping to handle the situation delicately, it didn't seem to work.
And Elon Musk is wasting no time pushing back. He said, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Democrats would control the House and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. He went on to say such ingratitude.
Woo! All right. Woo! This isn't about policy anymore. This is getting personal. This is Elon saying, I made you. And like everything else I make, I can blow you up. And by the way, Elon taking credit for winning the election is a little rude to the Democrats, isn't it? I mean, you're totally erasing all the work they did to blow the election. But those tweets triggered Trump. He doesn't mind if you criticize his policies or ideas or family or children. He doesn't give a shit about any of that. But the one thing you cannot do is suggest that Trump didn't win something on his own. He thinks he won everything on his own, even the things he lost. So then, Trump started swinging back.
Let me read a little bit of what Donald Trump posted on Truth Social. He says, Elon was wearing thin. He asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy.
That's not fair. Elon Musk didn't just go crazy. He's been crazy for a long time. And maybe he's right. What kind of idiot would be into Elon's cars?
I love Tesla.
Not anymore. And Trump didn't just leave it there. He also threw in a threat saying, if this African junkie wants to cut the deficit, I know where to start.
Then he says the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it.
Oh, shit. Elon's government contracts can't be worth that much, can they? Oh, it's $6.3 billion last year. Elon, you idiot. This is why you always sign a prenup. By the way, can we just point out how crazy 2025 is? Most people can't afford to eat eggs anymore. Meanwhile, these two billionaires are attacking each other from different social media platforms that they each own. Maybe we should eat the rich. But Trump... But Trump, Elon, let's calm down, all right? Things are getting a little too heated. At this point, we can still walk away from this, all right? Let's not say something we can never take back, right? Right? Right?
Elon Musk tweeting within the past 1 minute, time to drop the really big bomb. At Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT, exclamation point.
America, tonight, we are a nation at war. And look, it's not a big surprise that Trump might be in the Epstein files. We've seen them party together. Of course Trump is in the Epstein files. This is like saying, guys, they're aliens in the X-Files. Yeah, obviously. But for his own best friend / sugar daddy to say this, that is huge. Although, I like that he ends it with, have a nice day. I don't know if Trump is, but I sure am. This week, he's been focused on his passion project, building a ballroom for the White House. Now, when he started, he promised that it would be separate from the existing White House, and he wouldn't touch the East Wing, that this construction would strictly be over the pants. Then... This week, there was a minor change to the plan when Trump ripped open the side of the East Wing like it had a Labubu inside. But all right, so maybe a little bit of damage, but I'm sure he'll keep the rest of the historic East Wing intact, right? Right? Right?
New images appear to show the entire building is gone. It's been demolished.
Jeez, holy shit, man. Keep in mind, everyone, this is a rental, you know? Any day now, Trump... Yeah, you get it. New Yorkers get it. Any day now, Trump's going to get a call from the White House's Albanian landlord like, what the f*** is this? What's going on here? But this is all happening so fast. This guy's been taking 15 years to give us a health care plan, but in 3.5 days, he's demolished half the White House. Donnie T, tell me this is going to end up looking good.
So I thought I'd bring this out because this is going to be probably the finest ballroom ever built, and we're doing it no cost to the country. It's being the money's being put in by me and donors.
Jesus Christ. Look at this thing. It's huge. It's bigger than the actual White House. It looks like one of those crabs with the big arm, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know a lot about architecture, but I do know a thing or two about overcompensating for a small penis. The truth is, I don't really give a shit about a ballroom at the White House. Like, if we're being honest, none of us even knew what was in the East Wing until they started knocking it down 3 days ago. But I do think that this serves as a perfect reminder to never listen to what Trump says and instead look at what he does. Because he says, I won't touch the East Wing, but he does demolish the East Wing. Just like he says he supports free speech, but he does punish anyone who tries to use it. Or like he says he loves the Constitution, but then he does blow up boats without any due process. So just remember, over the next 3 to 20 years that he's in office, don't listen to his promises. Just look at the crater of results.